Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Law, SOL, Diploma, Postgraduate Diploma in Criminal Justice, PGDCJ, MLE 014 Criminal Justice Administration, Block -1 Police, Unit-4 Police Community Interface, 4.1 Introduction. Interface of police with community is a must as no police organization can work without involvement of the community. After all, criminals come from the community, operate in the community, and affect the community. How can police succeed without the involvement of the community? The term community policing has been used rather loosely, extending the label to almost any program which seeks to strengthen police ties with the community. Community policing concept is linked closely to democratic policing, which involves a viewpoint that the police accountability to the public is elaborated through the confidence and trust it builds within the society, which can help in facilitation of access to justice for all sections of the society. The democratic principles of liberty and equality get qualified through the police work when the police serving each community get a confidence which promotes better service orientation, directly helping in prevention and detection of crime. The message of community policing is that policing concerns are not merely those of the departments alone, and that constructive action by police and the community is always better than action by the police alone. This unit concerns with the community policing as a concept which is used into practice of day-to-day policing. This is often suggested as a very important factor in police reforms and positive image building and promoting access to justice to all sections of the society. This unit would deal with the concept of community policing, its relationship with the principles of democratic police, the major components of community policing, the requirements and barriers to community policing, and the practical usage of community police concepts in day-to-day policing experience. 4.2 Objectives. After the completion of this unit, you would be able to 1. Explain the concept of community policing. 2. Identify the importance and utility of community policing in democratic governance. 3. Evaluate the need of community policing. 4. Describe various provisions and principles related to community policing. 5. Understand the origin of CP and its development in India. 4.3 The concept of community policing. 4.3.1 Community policing. Community policing implies a basic change in the conception of the role of the police in society. It refers to arrangements of policing that accord a significant role to the community in defining and guiding policing in their locality. The basic ideology behind community policing is that it is the citizens who pay taxes that support policing services, and they should have a voice in deciding how police services should be carried out in the community. Community policing, indeed, is a reorientation of policing philosophy and strategy away from the view that police alone can reduce crime, disorder, and fear. John Angell, 1971, coined the term democratic policing to describe community policing. He called for a change where citizens have a voice in deciding how police services should be carried out in the community. Traditionally, policing is like firefighting. Police take action after something happens. It is reactive rather than proactive. This reactive police model has failed in fulfilling the needs and aspiration of the people. It is said that every citizen is a policeman without uniform and every policeman is a citizen in uniform. This is the main philosophy of community policing. It is a philosophy of bringing out policemen out of citizen and citizen out of policemen. It is going closer to the people, for involving them in ensuring their own security. Policing can be defined as a proactive policing approach where police and people work together to ensure safety and security of the citizens. 4.3.2 Evolution of the concept of community policing. In later 1970s and early 1980s, police services in England, Japan, Germany, Canada, Singapore, were experimenting alternatives to professional bureaucratic model of policing that was widening the gulf between civilians and police officials. A key element of the bureaucratic model was the insulation of the police from political influence. Though the strategy reduced political control of the police, it also had the effect of isolating the police from the community. Contact between police and community became limited. It was becoming clear from 1960s that bureaucratic model was not preventing crime and technological advances were distancing police from the community. The rising professionalism of the police created a subculture setting it apart from the citizens it served and hampered police-community relations. Samuel Walker, in his book, Popular Justice, very aptly said that increased professionalization had created departments that were vast, bureaucracies, inward-looking, isolated from the public, and defensive in the face of any criticism. Thus, despite success in 1950s, it became clear that professional model of policing was not suited to face the changing conditions in 1960s and 1970s, resulting from massive migration of communities in the cities, movements for civil rights, increase of crime and fear, breakdown of informal social control mechanisms all over the country. The only solution that bureaucratic model offered to rising crimes was to hire more police personnel and go for more expensive technology. Community policing offered more cost-effective, customer-oriented crime preventive approaches. This came the necessity of community policing, and many countries started it as an exercise in police reforms and in building up the sagging image of the police in the people's eyes. Since 1960s, the concept of community police interface and community policing got legitimacy as a very important ingredient for improving police image and mainstreaming democratic ideals in policing practice. Most of the democratic governments promoted the concept, and there was a systematic campaign to evolve a successful police community participatory program which could help in prevention and detection of crime and at the same time help in the access to justice for all the sections of the society. In India, the concept of community policing has gained currency since 1970s and early 1980s. Starting from individual experiments based on individual officers' initiatives and efforts, the community policing has acquired increased acceptability as an important part of everyday policing and an essential element in police reforms strategy as various police services in India struggle to mainstream democratic ethos in policing activities and promote positive image of the police in order to earn public trust. 4.3.3 Community policing and its linkages. Democratic policing. The concept of good governance is based on the institutions of government which follow democratic ideals in their day-to-day functioning in order to facilitate equality, liberty and citizen participation in governance practice. The criminal justice system also involves good governance ideals. The police work within the criminal justice system can promote democratic principles through the concept of community policing. The concept of community policing is closely linked to the concept of democratic policing. Community-based crime prevention involves encouraging and facilitating efforts by the public to take preventive and proactive measures on their own behalf. There is a prevailing assumption that citizens can also play an important role in preventing, detecting, and reporting criminal behavior. Democratic policing not only protects democratic institutions and supports an environment where activities essential to democracy can flourish but also demonstrates democratic values in its own institutional structures and processes. The philosophy of democratic policing is aimed at making policing more transparent by involving outsiders and building public confidence to allay fears of bias, assure impartiality of investigation, make the receipt of complaints easier, reduce abuse of power and misconduct, change the internal culture and ensure ever better performance and a robust police public interface, which could ultimately help in bringing up the police image. 4.3.4 Functional relationship with routine policing. Although the community policing is first and foremost a crime prevention effort, it does not mean cessation of police efforts to detect crime and arrest and prosecute offenders. Core functions of the police remain unaltered. On the other hand, successful community policing can improve and enhance other police operations by increasing communities' cooperation with the police. The end goal is the creation of a professional, representative, responsive, and accountable institution that works in partnership with the public. Police, in order to function successfully, have to develop a good relationship with all elements of the community, and it will center on the fundamental issues of public safety and quality of life. Further, alliance within the community should not be limited to some particular incidents or confined to a time frame. It has to be an enduring partnership between the police and the community in the quest for peace and justice. Police in country like India is scarce resources. With the help of community policing, these resources can be augmented. 4.4 Basic elements of community policing. The key elements of community policing include 1. Community-based crime prevention, to practice servicing as opposed to emergency response. 3. Shifting of command responsibility to lower rank levels. And 4. Public participation in the planning and supervision of police operations. 4.4.1 Concept of community, the community for which the patrol officers are given responsibility is usually a small, well-defined geographically area or a beat. The community will comprise diverse cultures, values and concerns, particularly in urban areas. It is also a fact that demands on police for safeguarding one community's interests can sometimes clash with another community's interest. This calls for negotiating skills and suitable organizational efforts on the part of the police. Establishing trust and obtaining cooperation is often easier in affluent middle-class communities than in poorer communities where there is long-standing mistrust of the police. The police will have to appreciate that people matter, and it must empathize with needs, desires and dreams of society. 4.4.2 Problem solving and police-public interface. Problem solving is another important component of community policing philosophy. It means more than mere prevention of crime. It is based on an assumption that crime and disorder can be reduced in an area by studying the characteristics of problems to deal with them. Community participation in identifying problem and setting priorities will be of help to the community and police. Indeed, many problems in the community concerning order and security can be successfully handled by police officers, their supervisors and members of the community. For e.g., arrangements for better lighting will reduce instances of petty crimes like house thefts. Community policing thus puts greater emphasis on attacking the underlying causes of crime by addressing them at the grassroots level. These alternative measures will require a wide range of support from the community. The first step in problem-oriented policing is to move beyond mere handling of the incidents and to recognize that incidents are more often the overt symptoms of substantive problems underlying in the complex life patterns of the community. Community partnership will provide police with invaluable insights and inputs, and the police will have to understand the nature of problems as a basis for a critical review of police agencies' response instead of limiting enquiries to narrower operational goals. Problem solving with active support and cooperation of the community further helps to develop the leadership qualities of patrol officer and enhances his job satisfaction. In fact, police violence and brutality are correlated. Public regard for the police authority. Lack of public regard reduces police self-esteem, thereby making the use of force more likely. On the other hand, uncontrolled use of force lowers public regard for the police. Therefore, other things being equal, there is higher incidence of use of force in the country where the police are poorly regarded. than in a country where the police are held high in public esteem. In countries like Japan and UK, where police enjoy public regard, there are few occasions of lethal use of force by the police. Whereas in countries like India and USA, where public regard for the police is uncertain, there is greater use of unwarranted force by the police against the public. Again, for successful prevention of crime in India, the police, besides adoption of modern scientific methods, will have to build up better understanding and rapport with the community. If the police are alienated from the public, it will be difficult for the police to combat crime. One of the effective deterrents against crime is an alert public, aware of its responsibility and eager to cooperate with the law enforcement officers. This cooperation entails prompt reporting of crimes, volunteering useful information to the investigators, and helping the police in various other useful ways. 4.4.3 Police image and need for community policing. The lack of public cooperation in police work makes it difficult for the policemen to discharge their functions efficiently. It is common experience that law-abiding citizens have greater fear for police than actual offenders. The reason is that the offenders take it as a routine way of life to come into contact with police and deal with them expediently. The normal citizens, on the other hand, avoid contact with police and prefer to keep away from law courts even at the cost of slight suffering or loss of legitimate claims rather than reporting the matter to the police for action. The real problem, therefore, is to develop a closer liaison between the police and the public by inspiring people to think that police is not their enemy but a friend to help them in distress. It is gratifying to note that this aspect of police-public relationship is being emphasized through intensive propaganda. In a democratic setup, the role of police is to protect individual liberties and civil rights. They are to be charged with the preservation of public order and tranquility, including crime prevention and detection, and promotion of public health, safety and morals. But unfortunately, the public image of police is not very bright. 4.4.4 Reasons for lack of public trust. Looking to the police image in India, even if the police organization is ready to partner with people, people are not going to accept it easily. This lack of trust becomes a very complex issue requiring radical initiatives at various levels to redeem the situation. The popular perception is of a marred public image arising out of certain deterrents in positive image building, which ultimately act as barriers to community policing. These barriers are also important indicators of necessity of community policing. 1. The non-registration of complaint resulting in poor police image. 2. Poor police behavior leading to poor police image. 3. The belief within and outside the organization that order in the society is maintained due to police fear. This fear is a major stumbling block in bringing people closer to the police. This closeness is a prerequisite for any community policing initiative. 4. The organizational culture of secrecy and confidentiality is another barrier. Such a culture obviously can't see any role for the people. It is true that police can't disclose all the information to the people. But it is equally true that all the information is not confidential. 5. The organizational culture of neglecting people. 4.5 Community policing in India. In India, the concept of community policing came up with a widespread impact only since 1980s and was further popularized in 1990s. The democratic policing ethics were given an important place in police reforms strategies. Various police reforms commissions and other advisory bodies have also recommended the inclusion and mainstreaming of community policing norms in the practice of everyday policing in order to improve the sagging image and lack of trust between a police service and the community it serves. The concept of community policing has roots in our tradition and has been used in one way or the other since ancient times. We only know that In ancient India, there were local bodies, panchayats, in which the public participated directly, and these were involved in criminal justice administration. Dispute resolution was their main function. The arrival of the British and the setting up of their own courts to look into civil and criminal complaints led to a decline in the influence of panchayats. Public participation in the administration of justice was reduced almost to nothing. It was only much after the advent of independence that the moves to revive the time-worn panchayat system gained ground. But the concept of community policing gained currency through the lead taken by some state police services which came forward with individual approaches and experiments in police-public cooperation mechanisms which further popularized the concept of community policing. The individual efforts on the parts of some police officers who experimented with new and locally meaningful strategies of community police gave further strength to the concept of community policing and its practical relevance in day-to-day police work. Now many state governments have a specialist community police wing at their state headquarters under the leadership of an IGP or DIG, which looks after the implementation and popularization of community policing norms. These efforts have helped, and consequently in many states community police work has helped a lot in building police image and creating a sense of confidence in the public towards police and its job. It has also endured better cooperation during the time of public unrest and also in the detection and prevention of crime. This is however felt that at the individual officers level or at the level of a particular police district or a region the community policing schemes has been greater success, and there is still a lot of effort required to make the practice of community policing into an institutionalized priority with robust implementation mechanisms. Some of the glaring examples of popular community police schemes started at individual district level are given below. 4.5.1 The Delhi Police Experiments, the neighborhood watch scheme launched by the Delhi Police in 1989 aimed at reducing property crime and juvenile delinquency and bringing about better ties with the community. Here, the police first identified a suitable community for motivating its residents to be alert in preventing crime. With the help of local special police officers, private citizens earmarked for policing duties. In a contingency and residents' associations, meetings were organized for the purpose of explaining details of the scheme. Thereafter, a Neighborhood Watch Committee (NWC) was formed for each block of strengthening of physical security arrangements in individual houses and registration with the police of the names of domestic servants and outsiders such as vendors who frequent the locality. 4.5 To the Mohalla Committees of Maharashtra, a scheme floated in 1990 by the police in Bhiwandi, Maharashtra state, a town notorious for Hindu-Muslim strife, to promote religious harmony can rightly be regarded as an attempt at community policing. Local bodies called Mohalla committees have been formed in this town to sort out problems in the community. There are about 30 members in each committee which meets once a week and discusses various issues with the local sub-inspector of police. 4.5.3 Village Vigilance Committees in Tamil Nadu and other states. Policing in the southern state of Tamil Nadu has been traditionally known for its emphasis on good relations with the public. A forum in the form of Village Vigilance Committee at the police station level is available for promoting their views. Viewed mainly as a crime prevention measure, the VVC's effectiveness has depended almost wholly on the enthusiasm displayed by the individual station house officer. The Nagar Raksha Samiti or the city defense societies and the village defense societies in MP and some other states like Gujarat and Chhattisgarh are also working on the similar patterns and are judged as great success as they have done commendable work in helping out police in public order management and in crime control. 4.5.6 The Prevar Paramarsh Kandra in Madhya Pradesh, the issue of domestic violence has been targeted through community policing schemes of Parivar Paramarsh Kandra in MP starting from the city of Indore. This unique scheme has been made a success through the participation of community elders, particularly women, who have helped the police in family disputes and domestic violence cases where the police itself has not been very successful in helping out the victim of home-based offences and nabbing the violators. Secondly, it has helped the victims of domestic violence to have a better access to criminal justice system, as the community elders who join this community police scheme are well aware of the legal system due to their proximity to the police, and this helps them to approach the legal system regarding their domestic abuse, which as a crime remains least reported, particularly in the conservative social environment in India. Similar schemes are operational in many other states. Box 1. NHRC Guidelines on Police Public Relations, the guidelines issued by the National Human Rights Commission on DEC. 22,1999 to all the police officials posted at police stations are of invaluable significance as they enable the police officers to perform their duties in a manner compatible with recognized human rights standards. These guidelines include 1. Providing a toll-free telephone number for the public to convey crime information to the police, 2. Transparency in the investigation process by registration of offences and recording progress of investigation, and complainants must have access to information about their cases. 3. Monthly meetings of station house officer show with the public. This will enable people to voice their grievances and also provide the police an opportunity to inform people about the law and order situation. Box 2. Provisions in law regarding police public cooperation. The provisions in law give importance to the role of common citizens in prevention and detection of crime, and this justifies the role of public in policing activities. This also strengthens the importance of community policing. Provisions of police public cooperation as laid out in the criminal law in India are given below. 1. Certain provisions of the Code of Criminal Procedure empower a private individual to arrest a person who in his presence commits a non-bailable and cognizable offence, and 2. Hand over such arrested person to police without unnecessary delay. 2. The law enjoins a duty upon every person to assist a magistrate or police officer in preventing the escape of a person whom they want to arrest or to help in preventing breach of peace. 3. People are required to inform the nearest magistrate or police officer about the commission of an offence or about intention of a person to commit certain offence. Every officer employed in connection with the affairs of a village or residing in a village is under a duty to report certain offences or matters relating to maintenance of peace and order and safety of person or property. Thank you. Subscribe to our channel for more updates, and we will see you with the next chapter.